guys, so it's Larry back with part 3 of the Rainbow Loom Glove, and this is basically where you should be right now as far as instruction. So you've made each piece, you've gone each section one at a time, you've moved your way over from one side to the other. If you look at the fingers, of course, it looks like some kind of alien or something, but you have your pinky finger here, which is where we originally started, and you work one way and then the other. So you got your pinky finger, then these are going to be for your ring finger, your middle finger, and your index finger. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold this over, and then you're going to start stitching these together. Okay, so we got here, let's get it lined up here. So pinky, middle finger, ring finger, middle finger, and then index finger. Okay. So remember, this glove's a little bit longer because I made it a little bit bigger to fit my hand if possible. So we'll see how it all works out in the end. Now again, we're going to go back to the original premise of each one of these loops having four rows of bands in it. Okay. So right now we have 2 here and we have 2 here. So basically we just need to add 2 more bands to there, and we only got to go this small little section. Okay, so if we think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces there. So how are we going to do that? The way you're going to do it is with individual pieces. Okay, so we'll take our glove and set it back out here. And remember, we face our stuff away from us, and we look here, we got a glow-in-the-dark side and we have a teal side. So we need the same here because we're alternating. So we build with the rubber bands away from us, and then that's exactly what you're gonna, or with the arrows away from us, sorry, not the rubber bands. So you take each section, sorry if I bumped the camera there. You're gonna load up one side. And of course, for the pinky finger, you only need 10. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, we'll go 11 because of the fact that it goes one more. Okay. So we'll take that, set it to the side. We'll load up one with teal. Okay, then we take them, of course, and hook them the other way. Let's actually flip-flop it here. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to take our rubber bands and we're going to loop this side over, and then we're going to loop this one over. Okay, and you're going to do it just like that and continue down the pattern. Okay, you take this one over and you take this one over. Now, this part might be a little tricky, and you have to be careful when you do it, because underneath it here, on the bottom side of the looms here, I don't know if you can appreciate those lines, but sometimes your rubber bands will get stuck in there. So when you pull this off, which you'll see in a minute, you have to be extremely careful that you don't pull too hard in there and break your rubber bands. Okay? And let's pull up to this one. And again, this is going to be the same process for every finger. can kind of pull these over and then help take some of the pressure off by holding underneath it here. See how it's getting caught up in there. Make sure you don't miss any. Adjust this camera because I'm having trouble reaching. I counted one too many. Alright, so that's how we do it. We got our finger on there. And then, once you get that done, you're just going to go hook your colors. Now, with this, what I do, let me see if I can get the light right. What happens is these bands kind of pull it together, so you got to kind of squeeze on the bottom. And you see that when you squeeze on the bottom, it opens up where you can get in there and get that color and pull it forward, or get that band and pull it forward. So this may take you a little bit of time, and it may wear out your hand too, reaching under there. So just take your time, you know, it's no rush. It's just a glove. I know Will is waiting for the finished product of this because he's giving it to somebody for a birthday present. So Will, good luck. Hope you get it done. Ben, you've been patient, waiting for it, kind of going a little crazy sometimes, but hey, that's alright. Still good. Actually, this last band here, we don't need, so let's just pull that one out of there and save it for later. So again, same thing, we're going to go get the white now. Let's like I said, we don't need this one. Okay, and then we'll just take this over here. And then what I'll do is I'll just use this white band to tie it all together. Okay, so now we're slowly going to pull this off of here, but we have to kind of pull this and unwrap it all at the same time, but we got to kind of go backwards, and this is the part that you really got to kind of be gentle with. So let me get this better adjusted here, so you guys can see what's happening. So, well, you can't even really see what's happening. Let's use this, and we'll pull each piece off. Okay. Give it a squeeze so we can get that out from underneath it. Okay. Really, all we're doing is just assisting in getting this off of here. You know, I don't know anybody whose fingers are as small as this hook is, so don't try squeezing this off of here. And then every now and then look underneath of there, because I told you they get caught up. See how that white one there is caught up underneath of the loom? So just keep an eye, keep everything going smooth. Again, you don't want to break the bands. Just take it a little bit at a time here. If you get a section that's stubborn, just pull it off with your hook here. Yeah, for those that have come this far, you'll see that this is a lot of work. But what did you expect? It's a glove with, you know, over 1,000 rubber bands. And then once you get them all to the point that they're off, you kind of start stretching it over everything. Get turned back the right way. Even it out. And there's your first finger. Okay. Yet there should be another piece that's... Where is it? There it is. Okay, so we know we have 3 sections in that finger right there. And then these bands here are ultimately what you're going to tie everything together with underneath. Okay, so remember, use those colors that you had. Okay, so there's your first finger. And that should get you started. Then what you're going to do is you're going to jump over here. And then what I do is I make, you know, the next ones. And then I, you know, when I put these on the loom as well, then I tie these other 2 in also. And then what you could do is put those on there, and then that way you're able to, you know, you're able to tighten this section here in the glove so you don't have such a big gap here. And you might even want to bring these up into it as well, so you can pinch that corner together. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll do one more so you guys can see it again. And we got, again, alternating colors. Glow in the dark and then teal. So we're going to load up our sections again. Load them up by pointing the arrow away from you. Of course, that's, you know, we'll do it this way. Do it either direction as long as you're doing it the right way for the loom. You know, actually, I think I'll shoot the video with the middle finger section as well, because I made the middle finger section a little bit longer than how these work. So I think it's going to be a little interesting to see how to get that part together. I'm going to have to figure that out. So we'll go ahead and, the original glove that I made, all the fingers were the same size. So now that they're not, we'll see how it works out for us. Okay. So there we go. And then we got our ring finger that we're working on. So we need this way, actually. Yep. Okay, so we're going to go in here and we're going to grab the first section of the ring finger. We'll grab this under section here, like so. Then we'll grab the other side of the glove, and then we'll grab this side of the finger. Okay, hope y'all saw that. And this side's going to be a little bit easier because of the fact that we have one side open on it. So that'll be a little easier to manage anyways. So let's just go ahead and get this side hooked up here. I'm in frame here. And once you get to a certain point, the rubber bands kind of hold this together on their own, which is a good thing. Okay, so there's that side. And then, like I said before, when you do this, of course, make sure you don't miss any. Otherwise, you have a big gaping hole in your glove. And remember, to watch, I mean, it's kind of silly to say it now, but watch the whole video. I post the videos on there, and a lot of people have questions pertaining to stuff that they would have, if they'd watched the whole video, they'd have seen it. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It appears as though looks like I'm missing one. Guess not. So let's just put that one here. That's strange. Oh, you know what? I think I just remembered what had happened. On one side I had too many. Yeah, I just remembered. When I made one side I had too many pieces. So, who cares? Another day. Okay, and we got it all loaded up. We're going to hook all our pieces in here. Remember to squeeze your looms, your pieces together. And then what you do is you run that side first. That side that's in the middle. so you don't have to try to squeeze the loom through there. And actually, let's just take that out of there. Okay. And sorry if I'm getting off frame, but you guys should know at this point how to wrap a single if you're attempting to do this glove. You've had enough practice to get to this point. Okay. And then we just get underneath of here and hook our piece. Hook our work anyways. Pull that up there. And again, this side should come off fairly easy because, uh-oh, what do we got here? See, we missed one. So, let's stop right where we are. And what we're going to do is we're going to reload everything. Actually, you know what? We're just going to take this one section off here. So, and this is where practice will help you, you know. And you can see where these little mistakes like this happen. And then before you go further, you can get it fixed. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off of here, the band that we had. And we're going to keep our teal, because we know our teal's good. Sorry if I'm losing you again there. Okay. Let's just pull this gray out. Alright. Oop. Almost lost my teal as well. Okay, so that's just holding that together. So now, let's get this white fixed. So we got to figure out how we got our loops here. So that loop went down first. This loop went down second. Right here. There we go. Look at your piece. Look at your work here. Alright, so we got that. Remember, we started this way. Let me throw this in here since I used one. Alright, so we got all those back on the loom. Okay, so now we got to figure out how the grays are going to go on here. And just for now, I'm going to go ahead and hook that up there. Okay, so now we need this gray. And we'll get around there. Okay. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. In order to keep this apart correctly, I'm going to go ahead and hook it on this pin. Let's get all the spirals out of this guy. Okay. Alright. Harder fix than I thought. Alright, so I think I got it. Remember, this is just about taking your time. Get that on here right from the first time so you're not stuck with it. Ooh. And it would have really been bad if I took it off there and didn't fix what we originally tried to fix. You got it pulled together there at the bottom of the finger. Through there, and then you're going to add 2 here. So of course that fix took us quite a while. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and get up the next section here. And then I'll get back with you after I get this finger together, and then we get started on the middle finger. Alright, take care. Okay, so on the middle finger, we have, a couple extra ones. Somehow I have 3 on this side and 2 on this side. So we're going to connect 2, and then we'll just connect that third one up to the second one. So, but of course we have run out of space. So what I did is I have 2 more sections here. And remember that this band needs to go under this one. And then this piece section goes on to here. And then we just have a couple loose ones here. So then we're going to move up to this point. Hook this on the last band there. And hook that one on here. This might be a little tricky. So what I'm doing, which you probably can't see, is the fact that I'm holding everything down with my elbow on the back side here. Okay. So now I'm holding that down with my hand. I'm going to go in here and get this green. Hook it up there. Get this green. Hook it up here. This green, hook it up there. Go in here and get this white. This white here. Now, what you're seeing me doing is making an extended, finger. So, odds are you're not going to have to do this. I mean, you can go with a standard set and be fine. Okay, so I got that hooked up. I can slide one of those out. Missed that. So somehow we got that flip-flopped. And the same thing's going to happen on that. So let's get back that. So what we'll do is we'll go back in here, get that piece, hook it back up, take this off of here, put it back on here. Alright, so, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this down through here. Okay, now we got it. Let's hook that up over there. Okay. So, a little bit of work, but we got it. So, just take some extra loom pieces, add your extra fingers, and now you know how to do it. Even up your parts when you're done. If it's got a twist in it, you can always pull that loop around. Straighten all your stuff out. Okay, so we got the pinky, we got the ring finger. You know, I showed you how to do the addition, you know, just by using extra pieces. To just add in those extra pieces, you know, the extra couple of bands. And then, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these fingers done. And then when we get to this last finger here, since the thumb we do the starbursts around, so for the index finger, we're just going to do what, you know, we're just going to do the part of the finger, okay? So what you can do is set up for starbursts, and then you're going to weave that starburst into here. And you do that by creating your starburst, and then you're going to hook these over and then complete the starburst. And then this, of course, will be the last one. And then the starburst actually pins together underneath of the thumb, and this pins together on the corner of the thumb here. So you'll have two C-clips, one here holding this one, and one here holding this one. And then extensions if need be. And then you wrap around your thumb. So I'm going to finish this up. If you have any questions or comments, of course, leave them down below. And, you know, take your time. If things get hairy like we saw today, a couple things got hairy. We got them fixed and we got them good to go. So, again, Rainbow Loom Glove. Now, what are we going to do with these up here? If you want to continue on and go ahead without me, then what you're going to do is you're going to turn each finger inside out. And then when you turn the finger inside out, you're just going to tie these three pieces into a knot to pinch it together, and then you push it back ahead. So if I can find the original glove, hang on a second. You know, in the original glove I used some different colors, but you know, you kind of see the tips of the fingers there. There's like a maroon color in there, but if you were to flip this inside out, yeah, let's just do the thumb because it's easier. But you can see where they're all tied together in knots. And you just tie those those overhanging bands together. And then for where the thumb and the fingers go together, I actually ended up using, you know, when I stitched the thumb together here, I just hooked those pieces down in there and went through where you would use a C-clip to put your starburst around the thumb together. I just wove those through it instead. And you got the one C-clip there that's holding it all together. So either way, you can do a C-clip here to hold this together, you know, use separate C-clips, or like I did on this, you know, and these things I just make them up as I go. So do the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, as long as you can get it on there and wear it, it's great. You know, you keep the fad going. This is what everybody loves. And again, remember, everything glows in the dark. You want to take a peek? Actually, I got too many lights on. Let's cut out some light. So, actually, this one wasn't sitting in the light. It was just sitting up on my dresser here, so, or on my cabinet, filing cabinet. So, there. It's going to be another glow in the dark. So, questions and comments, leave them below. And next time you see me, probably tomorrow or later on this evening, I'll go ahead and get it edited and get another video up for finishing off the thumb and the end, and that'll be it. You know, this will be part 3 for the glove. Part 4 will be done, and then we're moving on to another big project. And you guys stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. And, you know, remember to like us, tell your friends about us, get us some subscribers, and get us some views. So take care, and thanks for watching.